Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the United Star. And today we are going to talk about the prodigal son who's come back. He left a boy, he's come back a man. And I'm not talking about Rishi, even though he's smiling. I am talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. He will start against Newcastle United if we are to believe everything that's being said. He's already trained at Carrington for the last 3 to 4 days with everybody, and you could see the way people look at him, in particular Diego Dallo, as to how sort of mesmerized they are. So let me not sort of let's get Rashid into it straight away. Cristiano Ronaldo is back. You stopped watching Manchester United for like about a year, but I I mean he's made you watch football again, isn't it?
Listen, Prasham, Manchester United and me, we were on a break, okay? And there was no cheating involved, I promise. We were on a break. But let me tell you, man, Ronaldo coming back, boy, every transfer season, there used to be one rumor randomly coming out, Ronaldo's coming back, Ronaldo's coming back. And every transfer season, we would go, oh my God, he's coming back, and then finished. And I think when he went to Juventus at that point, everyone in the United fan base had practically given up. He's never coming back. But I think in COVID, we crossed over into a parallel universe, and how in a matter of 4 hours, he agreed to come back. It was absolutely insane, man. And that excitement is precisely why I'm back. My ex, so to say, has changed, and she's become beautiful again. She's become wonderful. She's fixed her ways, so it seems. And man, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. That man has not only inspired people like me to come back, but he's going to inspire the next generation of footballers, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, man. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
I mean, this is the kind of sentiment and passion if we are feeling from sort of from a screen. Can you imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like in that Newcastle game? And Vishesh, do you think that alone is enough for another 5-0 kind of performance?
Prasham, you defined it right. I remember when Ronaldo broke and we went live, the first thing that we were trying to do is get you tickets for the Newcastle game. And you were trying to figure that out. But no, I don't think so. I think it'll be a rejuvenated performance. I don't expect it to be a performance like Wolves or Southampton. I expect it to be something to show that Ronaldo is back. I expect him to play. There are a lot of expectations, but at the same time, we're going to be facing a lot of issues with the full Fred situation and McTominay situation, which needs to be tackled in itself. So I can see it being a comfortable game because of the way Newcastle have started 1 point from 3 games. Losing 4-2, losing 2-2, drawing 2-2. But with the power that we have, and especially with the way the fixtures are lined up from now to October 2nd, it's going to be very interesting to see how we pan our ways around the Premier League and the Champions League and the Carabao Cup.
The main thing over here, what I feel is that it can be that sort of Rafael Varane coming onto the pitch before Leeds and the entire sort of roof just lifted off Old Trafford. Here, the pitch might lift off Old Trafford when Cristiano Ronaldo walks onto it. I mean, I know this is a preview for the Newcastle game, and we've spent almost half the time talking about Ronaldo, but this is what he does, right?
But
Like,
that's what
he
happened,
wasn't.
Rasham. Who came out? Which cricketer came out and said that India versus England is going to be happening in Old Trafford?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go for that. So
No, they said that even if there are no fans by 3 p.m. on Saturday, there's going to be huge cheers you can hear from sort of across the stadiums are literally sort of 5 meters away from each other, so to speak. And I mean, it's just what he does. He makes the headline. He's come into the team, but like Vishesh said, there are other issues to deal with. Sid, Scott McTominay, and Fred are out. Does this mean that Van der Bench comes off the bench, or will he yet be on the bench?
Look, I really think I did the Hindi preview a while back, and I said that I think Van de Beek, Matic, midfield could be possible. I think Pogba might get a rest, play him in the Champions League. I know it sounds this thing that maybe we should rest players for the Champions League game, but I mean, first Champions League game, we've got an easy group. We need to get we need to, like we said in the Champions League preview, that it's best we get all what is it now, 12 points from the first 4 games itself. Let's finish off the group in the first 4 games itself. Vishesh and I were doing the Champions League predictions, and I think he also said that, let's finish the group in the first 4 games itself. So maybe I think Ole is going on a similar trajectory, because we all know what happened last time. We were doing well, and then that Basaksehir game happened. We lost 2-1, we bounced back, and then we just absolutely effed it up in the reverse fixtures for PSG and Leipzig. So I think he will go a little stronger, even though our opponents are easy to beat. So I just think that maybe a Van de Beek, Matic pivot will be there during the Newcastle game, and then he'll go full strength for young boys.
Vishesh, do you agree with that? Because I think it's too early to rest players. So I don't think if he's looking at it from a perspective of resting, I don't think that Pogba will be rested per se. And I think Pogba is in the form of his life. I think this is the best 3 games he's played for United in a stretch. So I really think he will start. I think he can start on the left. Personally, I think Pogba on the left, Matic and Pogba. So Pogba on the left-hand side of midfield with Bruno, and then Sancho, Ronaldo, and Mason.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, from, and I'm sure we'll get into the lineups after the segment. But the season's just started. It's not been the best of starts. I know we've got 7 out of 9, but we should have got 9 out of 9 in the first 3 games. You can't sit and be like, the Champions League's coming, so let's rest players in the Premier League, because the bread and butter is the Premier League. It's not the Champions League. And we've got lucky that we're playing such an easy group. If today, with the squad depth we have, the argument we had last year was we don't have squad depth. Now we do have that squad depth. So with the squad depth we have, if we don't manage to beat young boys with our second string team, that would be a humiliation on our end again. So I would say focus on the league. I get where Sid is coming from, but as you mentioned, Pogba's having his game of his life. Greenwood's having his best start to a season. There's no reason why we need to rest all those players.
Vishesh, why don't you go into your 11 as well and tell us what you think?
So my 11 would be De Gea in goal. I think he's got his mojo back. He saved us against Southampton with that last-minute save. We all saw what he did against Wolves. So fingers crossed he's got his mojo back. We go with the defense of Wan-Bissaka, Varane, I was going to say Lindelof, Varane, Maguire, and Luke Shaw. To be honest, I think Lindelof would also be a great player, especially with Ronaldo up front and the balls that he supplies. You remember the goal he scored, Bruno scored? I think Ronaldo can, replicate that on different levels. I remember he scored something very similar with Juventus against United. And I think Lindelof does provide those balls, but I see Lindelof being played against young boys instead. I'm going for a 4-3-3, and I'm going for a very attacking 4-3-3. So I'm going for Van de Beek in the sitting position, because he came out and said that he can play the number 6 when Rio interviewed him. So let's put him in there with Pogba, Bruno, and my front 3 being Sancho, Ronaldo, and Greenwood, because that gives you that flexibility in the front 3 where each player can play in any of the front 3 positions.
So, Rishi, I want to come to you here from the attacking perspective. Obviously, the number 7 is back on sort of where it belongs, so to speak. And then you've got the likes of Mason Greenwood, whose finishing is absolutely prolific. Jadon Sancho is yet sort of maybe blooding in a little bit. He was a little off the pace, it seemed, but we know what he can do. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba behind them. With this sort of, how excited are you to see these sort of attacking players back at United? Almost like the old times where there are 5 flair players, you can say.
Prashant, firstly, I want to talk about how it's time for the mentality change in Manchester United. We now have a genuine top-class, world-class player in the ranks of the team. And this man, Ronaldo, the way he trains, he's superhuman. And if that doesn't inspire the rest of the team to change their mentality and train like that beast, then I don't think anything can help our team out. So from the perspective of whether we should rest XYZ player, no. The mentality of the team should be, I'm going to go and give my 100% every day, because Ronaldo's out there giving his 100% on the field and off the field. Second, as for the flair players, man, that reminds me of the 4-for-2 days of Sir Alex Ferguson with crosses flying in left and right. And Ronaldo's a perfect player for this, because he's a magnet for the ball in the penalty box, Prashant, and we all know that. If he's in the penalty box, the center of gravity shifts to him, and balls can fly from anywhere. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I've been seeing a few highlights, and I've been seeing the flair that Pogba and Bruno have been trying out. with Ronaldo, it's going to be absolutely amazing to watch. And it's going to be a joke, man. It's going to be an absolute joke.
And this is where when you line up against a team like Newcastle, who with all due respect to their players and the likes of Callum Wilson, Joe Willock, Alan St. Maximin are very good players in their own right, but they're nowhere near United standard. Maybe St. Maximin one day will be. But when you line up next to the likes of Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, the list goes on and on. I'm not even said Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. And when you line up in a tunnel against these players, are we thinking of those times? Are we rolling it back to those times when we played smaller teams? When before you entered the stadium or before you switched your TV on, the game was won. It was a question of who will score and how many we will score. Vishesh, do you think that is possible?
Let me get in here, and you've more or less gone into what I wanted to say. We have, how much ever I hate making this statement, we have now got that City kind of vibe in our team, where let's say, supposing from a defensive aspect, you're marking a player in just a general zonal marking system. You go like, okay, let's get Ronaldo, then you have Bruno. Okay, let's get Bruno, but then you have Sancho. Okay, let's get Sancho, but now Greenwood's free. Okay, let's get Greenwood, but now Pogba's free. So there's always going to be that one player available. And you're talking about that. Just look at it from a general point of view, the way the team has strengthened. Today, if we take a corner, we have Rafael Varane, Harry Maguire, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Paul Pogba to aim for. In the previous season, it was just Maguire. So, they would like triple team him and he used to get the ball and it used to go flying up and, whatnot. We used to discuss this. But now with the way Luke Shaw has been playing, with the way things are going, the team is so strong that there's, as you said, I mean, you look at the lineup and you should just be like, okay, we're done. We shouldn't lose this game 5-0. We shouldn't lose this game 3-0. If we lose 1-0, or if we get a draw, we're happy with it. So I can see a lot of teams now just sitting back against us and playing on the counter. And that's where that CDM position becomes even more vital.
Mm-hmm. And Sid, obviously, Newcastle, we know that Maximin is a tricky player to handle. And he can, dance his way around footballers and that kind of thing. But he plays on the right-hand side, so he'll be up against Luke Shaw, obviously. So do you think he's going to give Luke Shaw a hard time, or he'll be in Shaw's pocket? You've obviously got Maguire as well there with Varane, and like that triumvirate will be looking after him. And I'm not too worried about Callum Wilson, because if he doesn't get the service, he's not going to be able to score, because he's not that kind of striker who will drop off and take a 30-40 yard shot to try to score. So Maximin and Willock, I think, are going to be the one who provide the impetus. So do you think Shaw will be able to handle Maximin?
Yeah, of course. I think Shaw right now is on the form of his life, because whatever criticisms he's got, he's absolutely shut the haters up last season. I think he's on the form of his life. Even if he falters, I think we've got Maguire, who's world class. We've got Rafael Varane, who's one of the best centre backs in the world. So I think our defense is pretty much set. So I don't really think I don't think we need to worry that much about Alan St. Maximin. Of course, he's a very good player, and I agree with you. Maybe in a couple of years he could become, maybe not United quality, but like a top level team quality. But I really don't think he will pose that much of a problem for Luke Shaw, Maguire, and Varane.
Yeah, and Vishesh, coming to you, Joe Willock, without a proper CDM who's got legs. I know Van de Beek played there when he was about 14 years old, apparently. But without a proper CDM who has legs, will Joe Willock maybe overrun us in midfield a little bit? Or do you think he's not that much of a threat?
That's a very high possibility, Prasham. When I was saying my 11, I was thinking what I want. Obviously, Ole is not going to go with that. He's going to go with the double pivot. He's going to go with Pogba sitting behind. He is going to go with that kind of a play. And Willock is a top player. Arsenal let him go. And you're talking about Luke Shaw. I personally don't think he started off the season that great. Compared to last season, I think he's just tired and needs some time off. But I don't think he's been defensively that sound. But Newcastle are going to have its threats. They've always done that. They've always come to Old Trafford in the last few years, nicked a goal here and there, and then just sat back. And they're going to do that again, right? They're going to go all out. They're going to go on the counter. They're going to try and pressurize the defense. But that's where I think Rafael Varane plays a very key role. I think that's the change that's going to happen. That guidance that he provides to a player like Van de Beek, the guidance that he provides to Wan-Bissaka regarding the positioning is going to be key. And somewhere I can even see them playing Matic just to be safe from the Willick perspective because of the footballing brain. We all saw how the game against Southampton went down when we were playing him. But that could be a possibility as well. It all depends whether Ole goes for, let's just outscore the opponent, or he goes for let's block all possible ways that the opponent can go and our attacking flow can go accordingly. So it depends what pathway the manager chooses.
But Vishesh, I have an interesting perspective on this. We didn't have a proper striker. I mean, we had Cavani, but like looking at his sort of injury record and like his availability, I think that we didn't have a proper striker before. And I was very much for the 4-3-3 formation with Bruno almost playing as a second striker. Now that we've got a target man, someone who can hold play up, someone who can score all kinds of goals, once Rashford comes back into the team, I think our strongest team is a 4-2-3-1 with Pogba playing in the double pivot. Because at the end of the day, then you're playing your best 11 players because Pogba, Bruno, Rashford, Ronaldo,
I agree
Sancho.
with you, but my full ideology is your job as a manager is not to put the best players on the pitch. You need to put the players that fit the system. If you're going to be playing Pogba in that 2 double pivot, we've seen how lazy he gets. He doesn't track back. He likes that more attacking flair. Why has he done well this season? The 2 games where he's provided the assists have been because he's playing on that left-hand side. It's not because he's been playing in that sitting position. The deeper he gets, the more, lazier he is, the more play we don't enjoy from his end. And we could see that against Wolves, right? He was tracking back, but he was sitting behind. He didn't have that impetus up front. So that's where you need to understand what fits the best for the team more than just trying to put your best 11. We did that against Villarreal. We lost that game on penalties. So that's where it comes down to the manager, and we'll have to hope that he knows what he's doing.
Fair point. And I think if that does happen, then you're going for a sort of shoot off between Pogba and Rashford, and that is not an easy position to be in. But Rishi, coming to you, predictions for the game. What's the scoreline going to be? Who's going to get the goals?
It's going to be a Ronaldo hat-trick, 3-0. You heard it here first. It's done.
The only hat-trick I think Ronaldo has scored for Manchester United has been against Newcastle. So could history sort of repeat itself? I think it's Newcastle. Yes, I think he loves scoring against Newcastle as well. Vishesh, 3-0 Ronaldo hat-trick. Do you agree?
I totally disagree. I agree with the scoreline. I agree with the scoreline of 3-0. I don't think it'll be a Ronaldo goal fest. I think Ole knows Ronaldo wants to play in each and every game. Probably Ronaldo gets subbed off for Cavani in the 60th minute. Yeah, I have a counter question after the predictions. So let's get the predictions done.
Sid, your predictions 3-0. You agree? It's a consensus.
Yeah, 3-0. But I don't think Ronaldo hat-trick. I think Mason's going to get one of those goals.
I think I'm going to go 5-0, to be honest. I think that there are going to be goals in this one. And all this talk about how Bruno Fernandes is not going to be as effective. I think Bruno gets a brace. Ronaldo gets at least one. He has to score. I mean, it would be very anticlimactic if he doesn't. I think he has to score. And then obviously Mason, I think, can nick one as well. So let's see. I'm hoping for a big result.
Before we end, Prashant, quick question to 3 of y'all. Does Ronaldo break Rooney's record by the time he retires?
No. That's
no
not
chance.
He's not even scored 100 in the league yet. He's too far off.
Rooney comes back and breaks it again.
Apparently, he stopped Usain Bolt in that charity game. But actually, I have another question. Let's say, okay, we've all said 3-0, 5-0. Let's say it's 0-all, 90 plus 4, we get a penalty. Who's putting the ball on the spot? Is it Ronaldo or do we go to Bruno Fernandes?
How much ever I love Ronaldo, I would go for Bruno in that situation because Ronaldo has missed. It's not like he hasn't missed penalties.
You're also looking at like 100 penalties of which he's missed 5.
I'm just looking at the last 5 penalties, and the last 5 penalties, the penalty that I remember him missing is the one for Portugal. And whenever I think of Ronaldo and penalties, it takes me back to the UCL final where the guy missed that penalty. Bruno, on the other hand, has just been scoring left, right, and center when it comes to penalties.
Anyways, if Bruno misses, it's always retaken anyway. So Vishesh thinks Bruno Fernandes should take penalties, but we know
one second. Now, that's not the statement. It's in the 90 plus 4th minute. Generally, Ronaldo can take it.
Even if Rishi said we've entered a parallel universe, but I don't think we've entered one where Ronaldo lets go of a penalty. So, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Rishi, for coming back. Hopefully, you bring some luck in 20. I don't want
20.
to say it. No, I don't want to say it. Let's not.
Until
Let's not say it. Let's not say it. I know Cavani's taken the shirt. I know everything's happened, but let's not say it. Let's wait for a few games before Vishesh can come and say that we're winning the title this year.
that is
Let's
last
get
will
scared
never
a
see
bit.
it again this season.
Let's see what happens. Obviously, Old Trafford is going to be buzzing. We are going to be doing a review of that game. Sid might even do. We might even do a watch along if things go well. Sid might not be on it for obvious reasons because he's not good. But thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel. Glory, glory, Man United. Viva Ronaldo. We will see you soon. Bye bye.